everyone, welcome back to the channel. Is here. Today I'm going to be talking about a very commonly requested video, which is just the basics of golf. So this video is to all my beginner golfers who really want to start off correctly with the correct fundamentals. We're going to be talking about our grip, stance, and alignment. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe and that notification button. We post weekly golf tips just like this one to help you improve your game. There are a lot of ways to do it, and I don't think any grip is wrong or right, but there are some things you can do that can really just set you up for success. So what I like to do is I'll hold the club in my right hand, and with my left, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heel pad, which is right over here, and I'm going to really just hook on the pad to the butt of the club. Okay. Ideally, you want to have your grip more in your fingers. So therefore, let's take your heel pad and take your index finger and just try to balance it without any other fingers. If you can do this and you can hinge up and down, chances are you're starting off in a very strong position. Okay, so it's going to be right here. Now what we're going to do is, without removing these fingers and your palm position, go ahead and wrap the remaining of your 3 fingers on. Okay. You should feel like your grip is very much in your fingers. So now that I have the club in the fingers, I'm going to take this thumb and make it a short thumb. I know that seems weird, but what it means is you just kind of like shrink it back. You don't want it to be all the way here. You want it to be right here, nice and compact. And next, your finger was already on, but you can notice that this index finger is a lot more spread out than the other 3. Okay, so now you're in a strong left hand position. This is completely up to preference. Some people like to interlock, which is what I like to do. Some people like to overlap. And some people, I don't agree with this, but you could do it if it makes you feel comfortable, is to do the 10-finger grip, which is a baseball grip. So let's say you want to do interlock, just like me. The next thing you'll want to do is interlock, and you also want your right hand grip to be mostly fingers as well. So you don't want to do this. You want to really have it in your fingers. We're going to put our 3 fingers on, and then we're going to have our thumb, which is going to be a short thumb again. So it's not going to be like here. It's going to be short and compact. And a good reference is that this V over here should be pointing at your right armpit. All right, and finally, we're going to have a trigger finger. So this is going to be a longer finger, just like this. So the next fundamental that we're going to talk about is going to be alignment. Now, alignment is something that seems so easy and self-explanatory, and it's very difficult for most players. I'm going to teach you a technique that really works for me, and I'm going to teach you a few things that kind of work with me. The first thing to note is that your feet are going to be parallel to your target line. It's not going to be pointing at your target line. How I normally align is, for example, if I want to aim at the red pole in the middle, the red flag, it's hard to be very accurate when you align to something so far in the distance. What works with me is that I pick a spot, maybe just like 2 or 3 inches in front of the ball that is in line with my target. And it could be a piece of grass, it could be a divot, whatever it is. So I think that my target line is going to be just over the right side of this piece of grass. What I will do when I'm aligning to this piece of grass is that I'm going to take my right hand, only my right hand, and I'm just going to make sure that the club face, sorry it's really dirty, is square to the target. Something important is that I adjust my body to the ball target line, not the other way around. So I'm going to take this, align, and I want to make sure that the ball is in the middle of my 2 feet, so in between my big toes, just to make sure I am parallel. I'm still using just my right hand, and now I'm just going to shift my weight back and forth. 1, 2. Very naturally. Some people, they will start off with their feet like this, and they'll end up pointing way to the right. So let's just take this. We go 1, 2, 1, 2. And if you want to check this, if you're practicing on the range, you can put an alignment stick or a club down to see if you are aligning correctly. So if you look at it, looks pretty good. So if my target line is right here, my feet line is perfectly parallel. So it's just like train tracks. Now lastly, after we have our grip ready and we have our alignment ready, let's get into the stance. So different shots need different types of ball positioning, but I just have a standard 8-iron, so I'm just gonna have it in the middle of my stance. And what's really important is how you're bending over to the ball. It's important to think about your golf posture more as a hinge, so kind of like a bow, instead of a squat. So a lot of golfers will end up with this kind of position, with your knees really bent, and that usually is because of like really tight hamstrings. But what you want to do is feel like you're hinging downward. Hard to show with baggy clothes, but a good rule of thumb is that the butt of your club, when you're hanging down, should be 1.5 this away from your pelvis. That's when you know that you are in somewhat of a right position. And just let your arms hang very naturally. This is going to be too far because it's not natural, and this is going to be too close. So over here, it's also going to range the same, about 1.5 fists away from your pelvis. Okay. Alright folks, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that really helped you hone in on your fundamentals. Again, it's not the end of the world if you don't do this, but I personally just believe that it's good to start with correct fundamentals so you don't have to manipulate your swing otherwise. Feel free to comment down below what areas of the game you'd like to focus on, and I can do my best to make a video out of it. I'm not a professional golfer or a teaching professional, but I have taken countless lessons from so many amazing coaches, and these are just things that really work with me. And you can take bits and pieces of what I talk about and incorporate that into your game. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And we'll see you next time. Bye!